Okay, students, in this video we are looking to solve exponential equations and inequalities. This is going to be part 2 of the lesson, and let's start with the inequalities. So let's say I have 27 to the 2x plus 6. 2x plus 6 is more than or greater than, or is more than or equal to 81 to the x minus 5. Okay, so just like equations, you want to make these two bases the same. All right, so we have we can do 3 to the third to the 2x plus 6 is more than or equal to something over here. You want to make this a base of 3, so 3 to the fourth to the x minus 5. All right, these two, so 81 and 3 to the quarter must be the same. 3 to the third and 27 must also be the same. And so from here what we can do is, since I have an exponent raised to another exponent, I can multiply those. All right, same thing over here. And so I will get, when you do that, you get 3 to the 6x plus 18 is more than or equal to 3 to the 4x minus 20. All right, so once we have those two bases the same, we can focus on the exponents. These two exponents, we can say 6x plus 8 is more than or equal to 4x minus 20. Don't forget it's an 18, not an 8. So combine like terms, minus 4x on both sides, minus 4x on both sides. We get 2x plus 18 is more than or equal to negative 20. Minus 18 on both sides, and we get 2x is more than or equal to negative 38. Divide both sides by 2. X is more than or equal to negative 19. Just one quick reminder, when you divide by negative or multiply by negative, the inequality will be switched. In this case, we don't have that, but just as a reminder. So the answer here is going to be x is more than or equal to negative 19. Okay, if you need to pause this video, go back and rewind it. Let me know if you have any questions. Let's move on to the second part of the lesson. So here we go. So last week we talked about interest that is compounded once a year. So that equation was y equals a times 1 plus r to the t. A stands for the initial amount or principal, r stands for rate in decimal, t stands for time in years. So this is when it's compounded annually, all right, compounded just once a year. Sometimes, however, an amount that you invest or especially credit cards can be compounded more than once a year. They can be compounded monthly, which would be 12, could be quarterly 4 times, twice a year 2. And so for that we use a different formula. So we use A equals P times 1 plus R over N, all that to the N times T. All right, so when something's compounded more than once a year, it's basically what it means is that if it's one time a year, they charge the interest once a year. But if it's compounded, let's say quarterly, they'll charge the interest on the first quarter, and then on the second quarter they're going to charge you for what you borrowed plus what the interest was for the first quarter, and so on, 4 times a year. So obviously this is going to be more money on the company, or if you invest, you'll make more money. So let's look at one example where we can use this formula here. And by the way, before I move any further, P stands for principal, or we can also say initial amount. R stands for rate Again, rate in a decimal form. And the n stands for the number of times the amount is compounded in a year. How many times is it compounded in a year? All right, that's n. And t stands for time in years. All right, time in years. So keep that in mind. If it's 6 months, it's 0.5. All right, this is time in years. A is for the current amount, or the amount you would like to earn. All right, so A is the current amount, or the amount that you would like to earn. So let's look at one example where we can apply this. It's a story problem, and this comes from your homework. All right, so it says Nancy deposits $2,500 into an investing account that pays 6.1% annual interest compounded quarterly. What will be the balance after 10 years? All right, so again, let's go to the formula here, the equation, and look what it says. All right, so initial amount is 2,500 with a rate of 6.1%. So let's convert that to a decimal. 0.061 over n. N is the amount of times it's compounded in a year. In this case, it's quarterly. 4 to the 4 times t. T is the years. And you can plug all this in your calculator. When you plug it into your calculator, you're going to plug in 2,500, open parentheses, times 1 plus, and then this, I would probably do this with another parentheses. That way the calculator doesn't mess up your function. So 2,500 times 1 plus parentheses 0.061 divided by 4, close parentheses, to the 40. When you do this, you will get an amount of $4,579 and 94 cents. 94 cents. This is rounded to the nearest hundreds or the nearest cents. All right, so these two standards are basically what complete this lesson. All right, the formula to work with an amount compounded more than once a year is this one here. All right, and really you can use this for something that is compounded once a year also, like this one. Instead of n being a large number, it's going to be 1 because it's only once a year. Or you can use this one if it's only annually. If it's only annually, once a year, use that one. Or this one, just remember n will be 1. Okay, hopefully this makes sense. Please let me know if you have any questions. I'll see you soon.